Journal reading for Erica. I'm going to use the Magic of You Oracle here. Avanora Resilience. Let me go to the guidebook here. This is number 1 and 27. Everything is always about the past. There's 2 cards here. Need understanding. Need to have a different perspective. Because you're still stuck in the world of your past. You can never let go of your story, right? That is your story. That's the past events. Yeah, you can actually retell it as many times as you like and share it as many times as you like. And you can reminiscing it as many times as you like. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is you are attaching to certain energy because of those pasts. Because you miss the understanding and you miss the perspective of those past. And that's what causing you to attach those unfavorable energy. And that's why you have hard time doing soul ascension. So this is a reminder. This card is for you to make peace with your past. That's what this card say, the statement. But let me go to, is there any more? Let me go to, this one is about challenging. Facing your challenges don't have to view it in a negative way. Can you say that, this is just a life experience for me to explore? You don't have to will them like an obstacle. You don't have to will it's get in my way. Why is that you feel like you're getting away? Because I want certain outcome. I have certain preference. That's where the problem is. You gotta let go the outcome. You gotta let go the preference. Exploring something, it's not have to be, I prefer this, I dislike this, or I'm afraid of this. So therefore, I don't want to keep going back to it. You see all this I think it's really hindering you from making peace with your past. Let me move on to 27 here. Burn away the past, okay? This resiliency on the card. But let me see how it wants to. You need to relax. Maybe you're a bit jumpy, your spirit guide saying to me. Fear, afraid of something, afraid of your own truth, afraid of your dark side that is deeper than what you know. Not willing to admit it. Why do I feel like I'm not such a bad person? I haven't done anything wrong. Who said you have to do something once to heal? Who said you have to do something once to understand your dark side? That is your perspective, right? That's why the first card said you don't want to have a different perspective about the past. Then you go continue this path of getting stuck, unable to ascend your soul, unable to make peace with your past. You can, I feel like you cannot burn away the past. That's what it is. You cannot have resiliency about the past. I think you're using some sort of way to protect yourself. That's why you try to be resilient. Every time you go back to the same situation or new situation happening again, you're going to use your past experience to explore something new. And that's not going to be good because you keep holding on to the same negative feelings. That's why you have hard time healing this way. That's why you have hard time ascending this way. You're basically creating your own whatever energy or whatever feeling to trap yourself in the same situation over and over again. Yeah, it's time to learn how to do inner work, Erica. It's time for you to learn how to release. Time for you to learn make peace with your past. Yeah, look at that like another story to you. This is not your first lifetime. You have past lifetime. Why are you not holding on to your past lifetime story instead? Why are you holding on to this lifetime story? Just because you don't remember, but the feeling is there. It's just like a comic recurrence for you, or the situation you're dealing with. That's what I'm getting here. You need to stop being so resilient. Let go, surrender, 100%. Is there anything else? This isn't not about burning away. You don't need to burn the bridge. Make peace. You could be with friends, the one that you hate before. You don't have to hate. Once you let go the hate, hey, I can love you like a friend. If you decide, oh, I don't really truly love this person like a romantic way. You see what I mean? Love doesn't die. Love of a human being never die. If you're so less selective about who to love, that is not really love. Do you understand? You can love a stranger. You can love people in the past that you no longer hang out with. You can love everything on this earth. And that's what makes this living thing so beautiful about this earth. Doesn't matter what it's containing inside of this earth. Doesn't matter how bad people might be. You probably know people kill each others. Can you forgive them and embrace them even though they haven't touched anything about your personal life? I'm talking about someone, hey, maybe your neighbor in a tragedy. Oh, somebody killed one of their family members. Can you just forgive this killer that hurt your neighbor's family? Can you still love this person, understanding that, oh, this person has darkness, this person need opportunity to heal himself or herself, like you are getting opportunity every day to do that, Erica? Do you see that universal love that your spirit guide is trying to nudge you to understand why you need to let go the preference of love? Instead, once you let that go, then you will ignite this universal love. That's how you actually heal, to let go all those negativity. That's how you make peace with the past, not really burning the bridge. Anything else for Erica here? I'm glad you ended here, and I hope this helped you. May you find light from the spirit guide. Journal reading for Maya, using steampunk tarot for you here. It's a mini deck. The card's a little bit, let me see if I can move it a little bit closer. First card is the Fool card here. Why do I feel like your life journey, there's a happy moments, there's some unhappy moments, but I feel like you do keep your life busy for some reason. Whatever activities that you enjoy, people that you hang out, whatever hobby that you have, and so forth. Yeah, it's generally busy. But then I'm moving to the next card, the High Priestess. Seeking tarot for answers. Because I see this lady with her hand with a crystal ball, and then all this card. Your guardians want you to know about something. There's a limitation about seeking this type of connection in the spiritual world. Many people do that for personal desire, wanting, anticipations, but they don't really want to co-create with the spirituals. They don't look at spiritual like, oh, you are actually my creator. That's how I came about being here on earth, to experience a physical life, Again. Do you hear the word again, Maya? Your guardian's telling you this is not your first lifetime experiencing this, whether you remember it or not. But there is a fine line of asking for information from the spirituals. It needs to be remind you that your intention is not good, and it's gonna misuse information to your own personal gain. If your intention is truly to connect with your higher self, to truly understand that how you are trapped in this dark world, if you truly wanted to heal, to take the light path, then this is something that you should continue to seek, not just only through reading, but through within your own inner world, through your higher self as well. Is there anything else I need to emphasize here for Maya here? So be careful of your intention. Is this coming from serving your greatest good, or it continue to trap you in your own dark side? So the next card is about the magicians. Yeah, the 5-star here. Some people call it hell. The devils, you might symbolize like that. That's how people believe in that. This is like a belief system. Do you want me to talk about belief system? The belief system are all created by humans' personal experiences. Like the more they gather, like a whole bunch of people having the same similar experiences, and then it become a belief system. But they don't ask, oh, not 100% of all of us in the populations actually experience the same thing. Why is that? But then people use this and believe it so easily. It's so contagious, okay? And it's your spiritual guardian is saying that you need to go figure out how many of those belief systems you're having. Like, that don't apply to 100% populations. Yeah, like you're trapped into somebody else, a group of experiences, but not really resonating for everyone. But yeah, you're like falling in that kind of category. Believe in something, but you don't fall into that group. So be mindful of that. How belief can drive you down to a downward path instead of going to the upward path in your life. So you need to choose wisely. Are you discerning this or not? Anything else about this magician card? Be aware that you can exercise your free will. You don't have to trap into human influences. So that's how powerful your soul can be if you really tap into it. But are you still allow your egoistic self, another form of your consciousness, to influence you because you have certain desire, because you have certain preferences? But you really have to dive deeper into those things about your own intention in each regard, how they are serving your greatest good. If they're not, then why you continue to hold on to that? Is this because of the feelings that making you feel good? If it's making you feel good, doesn't mean it's really, making your soul better. Sometimes feeling good, it could come from the dark side as well, like addiction, right? Like certain activities, like wash away all those low energy to give you a moment of feeling good. But do you ever question why you're having such a low energy, such a fear? Low energy could come from so many different negative emotions, like stress, like worry, like hurry. Those are all coming from those low category, right? Energy of low category emotions. They don't make you feel good, but then you have to seek something to release that. But you usually seek that from the outside to release them. Are you aware of that? I think you do aware what kind of activities are making you feel good. But do they move you away from those low energy category? If they do, then yeah, those are just temporary things what you're doing to make yourself feel good. But be mindful of how you can trap into those addictions because of human false belief. Anything else about this? The last card, King of Sword. I'm seeing this guy. You know, the books, the bow, the sword, and that's a little ball like this one here. Like, yeah, try to get information, studying them, writing them down, or whatever you do to document to. Your brain is like a collective of a library books. You know, you want to keep it this way, right? To express it like, oh, whatever you learn, you put it in a library book. It's stored in your brain, right? Inside your inner world. Sometimes you will use it, sometimes you forget about it. But it's still in there because once upon a time you learned that, you believe in it. Doesn't matter how often you practice that. Somehow they all influence you in some way or another way. So be careful with that, how you're storing those information like clutter, it clutter in your mind, so you won't understand why you make certain decision, why you say certain things, why do you want to choose certain activities. Okay. um yeah, but you need to understand your emotion. It's there, it's in you, and it's influencing you, and you have to incorporate that into your life to understand, to have a better understanding, right? It's not just about tapping into the spiritual world, but you need to understand your soul. Your soul is come from that spiritual world, but you need to understand how you are incorporating that as well. But be mindful of how you obtain information and coloring yourself, not able to see things in a with clarity, and causing you to have the wrong kind of intention in life, especially coming from your personal desires. Anything else I need to say for Mayra here? Got you in here. May you find light from the spiritual guardian. Journal reading for Rebecca. I'm using the Whisper of Love oracle here. This cosmic light attracts light. If you long for more love, be more loving. So if you're not practicing this loving energy, how are you going to attract the love in your life? Or even attract loving things around your life? It doesn't have to be just another person's. So this is just try to tell you that this is the law of attractions. But of course, you need to dive deeper to understand about your own energy, right? The energy that you're having is often translate into your own emotions. So dive deeper, and your guardians say dig deeper into your inner world to feel what that is. I'm glad you enter here. May you find life in your spiritual guardian. Journal reading for Erin. I'm glad to use the star seed. Message that here is talk about abundance. When your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance naturally open. I feel like you need to understand about humanity. Where's that coming from? It is all coming from love, from the universal love frequency. If you're not even having that kind of energy in you, how are you serving the humanity? You're just only doing it for personal gain, personal desire. That is not coming from the universal love frequency. So be mindful of that, what it is that you're trying to manifest here about your personal desire of abundance. God, and hear me from my from the spiritual guardian. Journal reading for Alasia. God, to use the Star Codes Astral Oracle for you here. Two cards from Taurus, cultivate, fourth house, home. Let me go to the guidebook and see how I want to interpret for you here. Hold still, dig in, grow roots, and strengthen over time. This is something that you're supposed to be doing for your own good. But this is talking about your inner world here. This is not talking about your outer world here. Perhaps you've been mistaken about how you should approach this lifetime to help yourself to do that. But let me see if there's anything else about this particular one. Perhaps you're under false belief. Perhaps you're too much focused on your physical living and forget that you have a soul that in a spiritual form. So therefore, you're lacking spiritual perspective in that regard. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God, some type of religion, or word of spirit. That's not what your spiritual guardian is talking about here. So let me move on to 40 next card. People often misinterpret it from a spiritual perspective. But let me see the fourth house, the home. Home life, early home life has some significant impact on your psyche. You need to go back to reflect on that. It is affecting your inner world in a negative way. Drawing conclusion too fast about your childhood, not understanding how you can how family value, how you've been educated by the authoritative figure in your family that you're looking up to, that has some so much impact on you, the way how you think, the way how you feel, the way how you act, all of that, it kind of formed in your childhood. Being such an innocent child, know nothing since the day you were born. Who do you look up to? People that raise you, people that teach you, even stuff that you observe without direct teaching you. Those type of indirect observation, you can mimic that as a child. Be mindful of how that is affecting you directly, so significantly. It is time to renew, but you need to have a more deeper insight of that. How are they connect together? No negative emotion are permanent. So you need to understand how to release those negative emotion in order to cultivate a newer you. When I say a newer you, it should be coming from love, the pure form of love, not through fear of. Right now, you're set in fear-based of living. A lot of them are just inherited. A lot of them are just negatively reinforcing in your life over and over again, including yourself. You are in reinforcing that negative behavior, the thoughts and feeling as well. So I hope you understand that. Alasia, I'm not here to answer your question. Remember from the beginning, no asking, no manifesting, and no thinking during this reading, so that way I don't have to interfere with the frequency that I need from the spirit guide. Anything else about this for Alasia? I'm guide to end it here, and may you find life from your spiritual guardian. Journal reading for Naomi. I'm going to use the Sea Soul Journey Oracle here. I have a magic card. May you fall with the divine. You are having a divine soul, and that's where your soul birth is coming from. The only creator of that is from the divine. Yeah, that's a special gift within you. Being born with the sea of light. How are you utilizing the sea of light, Naomi? Are you aware of how you have keep using the dark side of you to contaminate the sea of light, to sink the soul energy? Your guardian said sinking your soul vital energy is dangerous for your own well-being. Are you aware of that? So what are you going to do to make sure you are realigned to your soul sea of light instead of continue the dark side of you? When I say dark side of you, negative emotion, it's number one culprits. Second thing is false belief, not understanding the truth of the universe. Where's that false belief coming from? Humans' own opinion, humans' creations. How many artificial things have humans have created so far? including educations, information out there. Are you aware you've been influenced by them one way or another? Doesn't have to be directly. Sometimes peer pressure, societal standard to normalize everything, including negative emotions, like people are entitled to that. They think they're born with negative emotions until what situation or people triggering the negative emotion, and then then they stop blaming on somebody else, or you caused me to have these problems. Do you hear what I'm saying about blaming? That going nowhere. How is that going to serve your greatest good? It does not, right? It's continue to cause danger to your soul, vital energy. Why continue to practice those negative emotions? Why do you still continue to allow reactions based on your external world, situation, people, and so forth? Are you stuck in survival mode? That's what I'm sensing here. And you're still having fear when you're stuck in survival mode, and that's what triggering your fear, your worry, and so forth. And I don't need to continue to talk about what are those negative emotions. You're capable of discerning that, the different type of negative emotions. Anything else about Naomi here? So will this magic carefully. It's the dark side is still in you. What are you gonna do? Continue to do to heal yourself in order to release them. I'm guide to end here. May you find life in your spirit guide. The spiritual message for Janet. I'm going to use the Laconita Chacoli Tarot here. Let me see. This is a 10 of coin here. In a carousel. This little girl riding the horse, but the something become a reality. I think that from the beginning, I don't think it was that serious, but then something becomes so serious to the point of it become a reality, because I'm seeing she's riding a horse and jumping out the carousel. So, and the bottoms to me is symbolizing the materialistic world here. That's what the 10 of coin is supposed to be, an abundant world in the materialistic sense, right? In the physical livings, if you want to call it a materialistic sense, doesn't mean it has to be a wealthy person or something in any regard of that, but it could mean so many things. But I'm just sensing this it's like this type of abundance is no longer enough. It wants you to get out of this illusion of this type of abundance. I feel like you're taking initiation to find who is truly Janet. I feel like you're placing your value differently now than before. Your guardian said it is the right directions when you incorporate your heart and soul into understanding this self-discovery. Your guardian said, congratulations, it's just a new beginning for you. God, and hear me, you found life in your spiritual guardian. Spiritual message, one card from Narelle. I'm going to use the Sacred Light Oracle here. This is the law. I cannot pronounce the name of this law. But anyhow, but let me check out the guidebook and see what has in store for you. Card number 22. This entire message is saying you need a lifestyle change. You cannot continue to use ego-based action to live your life. You're fragmenting your soul significantly by putting your soul experience in a subconscious stage. It's creating a lot of unfavorable energy within your own self because of your egoistic self. Is there anything else? Pay particular attention to your own emotions that driving you to continue to encourage your egos, encourage this outer living. You have hard time seeing with clarity. It's just purely driven by feelings, regardless of what your mind is thinking. I'm glad to end it here. May you find light from your spiritual guardians. This is a spiritual message for Cora. I'm glad to use the Soul Truth Self Awareness card here. This one said, am I apologizing for my truth? Let me see what's going on. Be proud of your truth, Cora. Do you feel ashamed of the truth about what happened to you? Maybe something happened in your past that you're still holding a piece of that in a negative way. If it's happened, it happens. I feel like you need to embrace whatever that particular life situation that you're having, and stop keep attaching to that negative feeling that you're having. It's not something that you can change the past, whether you like it or not. Why not see it in the best of light and stop in the worst in you? So is there any more? You just have to be your own lighthouse, okay? To light up, to shine your own light in this regard. But you must have courage to live. That's always up and downs in life, but you gotta embrace all of it without having light and dislike about them. So give yourself the permission to speak the truth. And this is the end of the message. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Spiritual message for Tonka. Got it to use Curious Tea Oracle here. Boiling point. Pressure has been building for too long. This is not a good energy, Tonka. Are you feeling it yourself? Such a low energy. Full-blown combustions. Whatever life situation you're in, I feel like it's partially is self-inflicted, partially is coming from other people's in your life. You don't let go your negativities, Tonga. There is no improvement in your life. You're gonna keep growing all these negative emotions and then keep emitting all this negative energy. It causing a lot of internal chaos. That's why I'm having a hard time pulling card for you. I'm picking up a lot of your inner turmoils. It's making you sick. I hope you're aware of that. If you're feeling so much negative emotions, like it's going to this boiling point here, it's about to explode. You're gonna have meltdown, if not already. This is your spirit guy saying you're having serious depression here. So I hope you're realizing it, okay? It's not just about work. I'm just generally, okay? I'm not here to say specifically what that is, but it's a lot going on. It's like a build up from a long, long time ago that you didn't deal with your own negativities. Like you have to wait for this what is this full-blown compulsions to happen. That's going to be too late for you. I'm going to end it here, okay? This is just spiritual message, okay? I hope you find this helpful. Journal reading for Taffy. Got to use a Twin Flame Ascension card here. I'm not sure they want me to, your guardian want me to do both at the same time, but let me check it and see what's going on with this two card here. This is the amber colors. 97 and 91. You need to have more universal heart consciousness in order to have more fulfillment and purpose in life. Just keep that as a reminder. What are you partaking in this lifetime? If you allow certain desire to drive you to live this lifetime, it's hard to connect with the universal heart consciousness. This gift here, it's about offering unconditional love. And that is the only type of love frequency that really sync in order to seek a higher soul fulfillment, to understand life purpose, guarding. You have your wall up to guard against this. Perhaps your heart, you have a shadow heart. Is a shadow is a white word. I don't like this shadow word here on the guidebook. I feel like something happened to your heart. Perhaps you have a broken heart somewhere along the way in this lifetime that has not been healed. Wherever you've been through, but that is something you just cannot move on. You have to pull that wound out in order to see what's happening. Yeah, you're still carrying this wound, whether you like it or not. But you need to have courage to face it in order to understand what love is all about in this lifetime. Is there anything else about this masculine energy? Perhaps you're too active. You need to freeze your activity in order to find that passive side of you, to go within, to focus on your inside instead of focusing on your outside. Perhaps you think you move on so you can move on with your life, but it doesn't work this way by focusing on your outside to move on with your life. I hope you understand that. That's why you need to slow down on this masculine energy to activate this feminine energy so you can get in touch with your own emotion, to open your heart and soul to understand what that is inside of you you're still holding on to, that you are unable to heal the wound, your past wound. That is the most significant thing about if you truly want to be happy inside. Nothing on the outside that you're chasing. I'm getting you chasing something on the outside to make yourself happy, but that's not gonna last forever. When you run out of gas to chase whatever you're desiring, and that's gonna hit yourself in a wall, and then you will like, oh, why do you feel like no success? Why do you feel like you're burnt out? Just be mindful of your actions, okay? It's time for you to dive within, to do some like mirroring, to do some self-reflection, in other words. Let me move on to page 97 about this sacred sexuality. You know, people are so focused on the physical act of love, like giving, touching, hugging, or for physical intimacy, and they just only know how to express love in this way. But are you aware you can actually express love through your energy, through your emotion as well? And that's something you need to work on instead of trying to do it in a physical way. Do you actually feel the inside of you? That type of feeling, is it really coming from the universal love? Or are you conditioning this love to make it seems like it's not the pure form of love? When I say conditioning, maybe it's our fear, maybe it's our protections. Like you think that you're giving love. Hey, be careful. Hey, do you know it is not safe to do that? You're harming yourself, but it's not improving yourself. Do you see the language of that is coming from fear and protection, and including worry as well, especially people that you care about. So this is trying to tell you to dive deeper into your intention. What is it that feeling motivate you to have those type of intention? If you really open that up, you will realize that it's coming from your negative emotion. That's not coming from the pure form of love. So you need to work on that, to release that, so that way you're not focusing on the physical side of life. Physical side of life tend to trap you into fear, trap you into survival mode. That's why you're like concerned about fear, protection, safety, and so forth, and triggering worry, concern. Okay, it's not good for your health. So when you're lost in that, ask yourself, how are you conditioning love? Every time you're using that type of conditioning, and that's not pure form of love, be mindful of that. So you need to make true connection with this universal love frequency, not the one that you have been taught to connect with the human. Even though humans are social beings, but they just tend to use the one type of connection to do it with. Yeah, don't use fear to connect with people. Why not use that true loving energy to do it with? Though this is a time to expand your heart and soul to do that. So you need to turn off, perhaps not totally turn off your body perspective of life or your mind perspective of life, but find some balance, right? Lessen those perspective of life and try to use the heart and soul perspective of life. Incorporate that. And I'm just glad to end it here. So may you find love in this life, the true form of love. Spiritual message for Kayla. I'm glad to use the journey of love here for you. This is Heaven card. Card 70. See what the guidebook has in store for you. I feel like the heaven is calling out to you. You might call it divine if you're not religious. With a higher purpose in this lifetime. Oh, I'm looking at wrong pages here. I'm supposed to go 70 here. It's now. It's been calling you forever. Like, do you know your soul was born from there? Having a human life experience on Earth? Do you know you have a higher purpose here, Kayla? To understand the dark side of the human life? And what can you do to turn that around? To make this the light side of human life? Why do I say scream here? Frustration, like you want to call out. That's too much. Like you want to give up. Perhaps too much frustration, going nowhere. You know, it has been blessing you for so much for you to understand that. When are you going to wake your spirit self up to realize you can discern the difference between your dark and light? Do you know your soul is powerful enough to transform all those negativity that you are attaching to, or you're still holding on to into this light, so-called love? And that's what makes this human soul so special, because of love. But unfortunately, all this darkness that human chose to practice had hindered that this love is no longer in the pure of form of love. Are you aware of that, Kayla? That's why this is the highest purpose for you in this lifetime, to reverse this process. It's easy to say, right? But it's up to you to let go, to surrender to this higher purpose, to allow this universe to guide you to understand what it is that you still need to release. Whatever you have to encounter in this life now and forever, right? Whenever you feel those dark side in you, do remember your higher purpose. You can release it, and transform those darkness into light. Turn it back into this love that you so need to be connect back to your own soul, your higher soul that I'm talking about. That's soul connections, not for the ego, not for your mind consciousness, but this soul has experienced so much that you have forgotten about. But this familiar feeling that you're having is so real, so intense. And that's already enough to tell you what you have experienced in your past lives. Do not be afraid of that. All you need to do is to discern what that feeling is. Is it from the dark side or is it from the light side? Illusion, it's just veils that you can remove. You just need to crack yourself open and remove each of the masks that you have put up, that covering up the truth, causing you not to have clarity. Do not be afraid to remove those veils one by one, like peeling each layer of onions, if you want to call it this way, to get to the truth. And that's how you're going to discover yourself throughout this lifetime, to do some proper inner self transformation, to return back to heaven one day. And this is the end of your reading, and it is very beautiful from your spiritual guardian. May you find light in it. Spiritual message for Allie from the Dream and Incarnation Oracle here. This is betrayals. How deep is this? Deception. The truth hasn't been spoken herself from someone. Something broken inside of you because somebody didn't tell the truth to you. And it hurts and it stinks. That's what I'm getting. Is this her current relationship we're talking about? Okay, it's confirmed it. It's confirmed it is your current relationship. Very Pacific individual, and you should know that. Perhaps you feel it already. I feel like you know it already. But it's not necessarily unfaithful. Just not speaking the truth. It's not about another individual. I don't think it is. But without more further caught on this, but what is the intention of this spiritual message? It's about your happiness. Your spirit guide saying your happiness shouldn't come from this person. It should be coming from your own self, Allie. But I feel like this is like a serving your catalyst, this individuals, to help you understand that how much you don't really love yourself, even though you don't think so. Because you're so codependent on love from these individuals. And how do you love yourself when you're codependent on love with this individual that can hurt you? If you truly love yourself, nobody, even the people that you care about, can hurt you to cause you to have negative feelings. So be aware of this when you're having negative feelings. That means you still haven't understand what self-love is all about. And I'm going to guide to end here. So may you find life from a spirit guide. It's a journal waiting for Joshua. Couple cards here for you here. God to use the Angie Oracle here for you. First one, the sun, then the goddess of the moon, and then the angel of love here. Let me go to the guide and see how I want to interpret for you. There's some black energy going on with you. It has a lot to do with the feeling that you're having that unable to release in order to heal those wounds that you're having. That's what causing this blockage, unable to flow with the frequency of love from the universe. So you're currently your energy is still having misalignment. Is there anything else about this particular card? Hmm. There is a lack of directions or is just confusion? Both. Confusion and lack of directions. But you're supposed to know even though you're not aware, even if you're not aware, but you can sense it internally, whether there is a guidance within you. There's something, this invisible force supposed to nudge you there, but you're not willing to open yourself up to receive that kind of connection, that kind of nudging. So you're basically stuck with your own negativities. But I feel like you need to kind of ground yourself in this as well to help you out while you figure out how you can release those negativity so that way you're not blocking your energy. When this energy, the good vibes start floating again, then you can connect with the universe again to get the direction that you need. So you won't have to be so confused in life. So I hope this makes sense, right? But this is not about using your mind, right? Because when you're so focused on the outside, on your physical living, that's what triggered the mind, that's what triggered the egos. So if you let that physical perspective of life go and learn to surrender to your spirit self, which is your higher self, then that's things will start coming to you more smoothly. So I hope that makes sense. I'm speaking from an energetic standpoint here. So let me move on to the next card, the Goddess of the Moon. Is there more on the first card? So let me move on to the second card. This is still about blockage, lack of inner connections. What's going on with Joshua? He does feel his own emotion, but what it is that he does not have the Can you take a deep breath? Joshua, just breathe it out, okay? Because I'm feeling blocked here. I'm unable to connect with your spirit guide because of your energy is so stuffy. So let it go, whatever it is. Relax, stay calm. If you're having inner turbulence, just release it. Breathe it out through your mouth. Just clear your thought. Don't think about it, okay? Don't ask the question. Asking is not going to help because your spiritual guardian is here to serve your greatest good, but you keep rejecting him or rejecting her. Is it him? Her? Both? It's he and her. You keep rejecting them both. You're rejecting them, okay? That's the word that I'm trying to say here. So let me try to reconnect with them again. What is the inner disconnections? Not when to dive deeper to feel your own emotions about your wounds, how your wound came about, how you can self-inflict those wounds, how you can internalize those wounds to create tenfold when there's some when the wounds start out to be so basic, but you keep adding salt and pepper and now expression of whole bunch of spices into this basic wound and turn it into so profound. So I hope that makes sense. You are intensifying your mood over and over like tenfold instead of trying to deal with the fundamental basic of it, because it turned into so complex. The wound that you're having, it's a few of them that are so significant in this lifetime, but you need to face your own truth. How you're doing that? Perhaps your egos, perhaps your judgment, perhaps your mindset, perhaps your attitude, all of those, and also your belief, creating false illusion for yourself. I just did a double negative. It's creating illusions. So giving you some untruth situations. What you thought about is not the truth of matter. There's some thing that you're blocking. I'm not going to say it's hidden below the surface, because you only want to see what's the appearance on your mind, but you wouldn't try to go deeper to understand the individual. You wouldn't go deeper to understand the situations. And that's what's going on. Losing faith. You're losing faith in something. You once had it, then something happened in your life, and then you lose the faith for doubt. Oh, I don't believe in this faith anymore. It's not working out for me. It never came true. Or something. Maybe you're hoping or wishing for something that never come true, because your expectations want a specific outcome. Joshua, are you hearing this? This is your ego. This is your desire. What does that have to do with healing your wound? Nothing. That's why you're so disconnected with your own soul. You don't even want to understand your soul true form, the pure form of your soul, where your soul coming from. What does your soul need to stay healthy? But all you're focusing on is your ego, your physical, immediate gratification. How is that going to help you connect to the soul? That's why you're so blocked. That's why you're so stuck and so much fear. There is no such thing blessing. You cannot ask for spiritual to make your life easier. You cannot ask it to bless you. Oh, make this go away. It doesn't happen like that. You gotta ask yourself, why are you holding on to those negativity for so long? To create more negativity for your own self. Like I said, you're the one who intensify your own wound when you could have just healed the fundamental basic. But instead you're complicating the whole entire process. And you know you have intuition, you know you can hear your inner voice, but you just rejecting them. Yeah, you cannot have like a so-called outcome expectation. Those things are staring you away from your soul, and they trap you into focus on your own negativity to continue to practice the same thing. But you need to dive deeper to feel your negative emotion first. Okay, what it is that you still need to release on. I'm seeing this self-reflection here, this moon that she's holding on from above. Like you can't just hold on to it, this self-reflection. You have to guide deeper into just do that. Is there any more about this card? Yeah, you need to go back to nature. You need to stay away from artificial thing, toxic environment, toxic people. People are influencing you to act on certain way, to believe in certain things that are not truth of the matter. Why are you allowing people in your sacred space to harm the space a lot more? You're the only one who can say, hey, I don't need to listen to this person. I don't care how many years that I know this person. I need to listen to my own voice inside of me. You know, everybody is unique. Joshua, I am Joshua. I am unique. I cannot be like them. Doesn't matter if they're very good friends or they have good intention and so forth, but I need to take care of my own self now and forever. I cannot rely on someone's advice on any of that. because they don't understand me, because I'm still trying to understand myself too. I hope you hear this statement, okay? How you can let go of those influences from the outside and start tapping into your own inner voice. Let me say this 49. There's another disconnection about your heart, your feelings. This is all about disconnection. I don't know why you turn off from the nature. Why do you turn yourself off, Joshua? Separation. Something separated, something happening in his life. Losing something. I don't know what it is that you're losing. Losing a job. Once upon the time. I don't know what the timeline is, but you did lose a job once upon a time. It didn't tell me, but that particular experience hardened you. Maybe something horrible, something terrible happened about the job that triggers some perspective change, but in a negative way. It's not in a positive way because you're using negative feeling to intensify your own life. Yeah, like everything is so negative. I don't know what it is. Because your perspective is negative. Too much judgment. Not seeing the higher purpose of why things are happening to you. You're closing your heart through bitterness, through unpleasant experiences. You couldn't handle the downward path of your life. There's something you need to learn to let go. It's your negativities. So you can see the light in everything, the beautiful side of everything. Like the coin, right? There's a tail and a head, but you gotta see the both side of the coins. You cannot stuck in one side of it and assume that is the whole picture of everything. You're missing the full picture here. Causing you to have more attachments than necessary. Yeah, the universe is waiting for you to do something to free yourself from those attachments so you can hope or open your heart to love. That's what this universe is fighting is this love frequency, but then you keep misaligning your energy. That's not coming from love. You're the only one who can ignite this love by releasing those attachments. How are you doing your self reflection? You need to ask yourself honestly, are you really doing reflection or you just reacting to life situations? There's a huge difference, right, between those two. You need to calm down, Joshua. If you're feeling internal turbulence, freeze your activity, including your thoughts, okay? What it is that feeling that you're having? What is this the situation that triggering you to have those feelings? Can you connect them? To see once you collect enough of those information you will see your old patterns that old patterns is trying to tell you, and I feel like it's going to tie back to the source of your problems that you're having, why you're unable to heal, why you're unable to resolve them. Perhaps there's some particular individual in your life that hurt you the most, that you haven't forgive, that you haven't forget. I know you won't forget, but don't want to forget is because you're not willing to forgive. Be aware of that. Those two things goes hand in hand. They can fuel each other to intensify this so-called resentment or so-called hate. The spirit guide said hate. Is there anything else? Other people's? Yeah, even though those people you think don't matter to you anymore, but they still hold something into your heart so deep, like a betrayal. See another negativity that you're attaching to. Is there anything else? The anger you need to watch out for is also tied to why you're not motivated to do anything. Yeah, forgiveness is the only way out of it, Joshua. You know, if you don't see this world beautiful, you cannot embrace all living things, whether they have consciousness or no consciousness. You keep defining, oh, who I prefer, who I don't prefer, what things I like and what things that I don't like. You're gonna limit yourself to try something new. Yeah, even it's right in front of you. It's like a blessing for you to try it new, but you're gonna say, oh, I know I'm not gonna like this. I'm not going to even go into that because I don't feel comfortable with it. Do you hear the statement that I'm trying to say here, Joshua? That's how you restrict yourself from exploring something new. Perhaps those new things can create new perspective, right, for you, and you're not realizing it. So I hope you see, yeah, you need to, perhaps you can learn something from other people instead of getting trapped in your own personal experiences. Perhaps people already enlighten themselves that you haven't enlightened yourself as well in your community. But I feel like the community is trying to support you, but you just need to let go of your judgment. Don't judge because of past experiences, because of pain, the wound that you haven't healed. But each day, when you realize that, hey, you cannot victimize yourself anymore, you can love those people that hurt you the most. Love is a Love shouldn't be discriminating. Love shouldn't be like having preference. Love should be for all living things on earth. So that is something that the universal love is actually vibing. You want to align to this love, love of all humanity, no matter what they did or what they're still gonna do. But you need to discern that there's a difference between darkness and light. People have darkness, you have darkness, and that's how people keep encouraging, passing on darkness from generation to generation. Do you want to continue this path, being a contributor of your darkness? You need to ask yourself that. We all have to take our own responsibility to heal our own wounds, as simple as forgiveness. Forgiveness can bring compassion in your heart, could light up this love in your heart as well. So I hope you hear this high calling of what you need to do here. This is the angel of love is trying to send you to help you understand about this greatest love of all. What matters the most, right? Without this love, there is no future of human race. And I'm glad to end here. May you find life from your spiritual guardians. Glad to use the elemental oracle for you, Kayla, for this journal readings. Have the east, north, magic. The east, beginning. Let's see the Pacific message for you in the guidebook here. You need to release your worry about starting something new. Whatever that is, if the old is not going away, how do you begin something new, right? So I think you need to let go of this, whatever you're holding on to those old patterns, old things, old peoples. Perhaps they give you comfort zone. Perhaps they allow you to enter your own sacred space, wherever that kind of feeling that they are translate into in your sacred space. So you need to be clear about that. What kind of colors that are not serving your greatest good in that regard. So Almost, always, sometime. Hmm. Does not want to define it. Just say that you do resist change. Perhaps because you're afraid of the unknown, because you're afraid of, well, how safe it is in the future for me to dive right into this change that I have no idea what I'm changing for. I feel like that's the way how you feel about change. Why you have hard time taking a new beginning to do something different for your own self. That's what I'm getting here. Is there any more about this card here? Let's move on to the next one, expansion. You need to expand your authenticity. You need to expand your true nature, where your soul coming from. By doing that, you need to shift your focus away from your body form, away from your mind, to hear the heart, your heartbeat. What is that trying to tell you? Are you feeling something that is bothering your soul that you're not realizing it all this time? Perhaps you stuffed up in your subconsciousness. Perhaps you put it in another compartment so that way you don't have this awareness that you're actually allowing it to impact your day-to-day life. So be aware of how things can be so subtle that affecting you and not realizing it. So this is the expansion. It's trying to tell you expand your inner awareness so that way all your movement every single day, all the activity that you're doing, that you are well aware what's going on inside of you first. If you don't, freeze whatever you're doing, freeze your thinking, dive deep into your heart and soul and see what is that inner voice trying to tell you first. Perhaps you might change your mind, your activity. Perhaps you will change your mind about the way you think at that moment. Is there any more about this north authenticity? In other words, be adventurous about discovering your own self, the deeper side of you that is so hard to realize when, especially, you're so busy with your day-to-day life. This is the magic alchemy 43. You will find this special, unique magic in you only at your higher self, only at your soul level. This is not about miracle. This is about your true nature. You were born with it at the soul level before you are even incarnated to be a human body. So be aware of that. This is not a dream. This is the true reality that no one ever tell you about this, because this is not something you can study through a book. This is not something that another person can pass it on to you, because you are who you are. Nobody can replace your soul. Just be aware of that. Is there anything else about this? Your soul is all spiritual, it's all energy form. Whatever energy that you're trying to produce for your emotion, it either help your soul or it's gonna hurt your soul. So be aware of those negative emotions that you're practicing are actually hurting your soul, including those that you are putting in another compartment, the one that's always suppressed in your subconsciousness. Yeah, they do sink your soul energy, whether you are being triggered by that at that moment or not. So you have to will this special unique magic again to activate your soul level, to understand that you can ignite your own light in your own darkness. You can realign your energy to this universal love frequency. This is your light purpose, and this is your higher purpose. do not delay this change in order to alchemize this magic that you have. Is there any more about this? Faith. Have faith in this spiritual journey because it can help you discover who you truly were once upon a time before you incarnate to be a human being. Anything else for Kayla here? No. This is the end of your reading. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Guide to use the whisper of love for this spiritual message for Laura. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. Is it somebody else or hers? Both. It's all about both. From you and from whoever you're interacting with in your day-to-day life, to observe the behavioral side of it, not the one that come from the mouth through the words. That behavior tend to connect with the emotional side of it, the deeper side of the individual emotions. That is what it's trying to say, the expressions of it. And I feel like those expressions are not coming from the pure kind of love. There's always some type of negativity involved in that type of expressions. It doesn't matter if that feeling is making you feel good, or maybe it's a happy feeling or laughable feelings or humorous type of feeling. It want me to use the term. And sometimes it could be argumentative type of feelings, like disagreements, disapproval, conflict, some type of fear or being protected in that kind of way. So I hope you see what this card is trying to tell you, that you need to work on not to engage in anything else but love. But that is something very hard to do, because when you're not understanding the deeper side of the emotion, how it is really manipulating behind the background of the individuals, and not just the people you're acting with, including yourself as well. I'm guided to end here, and may you find life from your spiritual guardian. This is a Goetia Tarot in Darkness here. And this is a spiritual message that you're asking me to do 2 cards for you. So let me take a look here. This is a very dark 5 deck here, okay? Because a lot of demons in this. Hopefully you're not turned off by this deck. Do you want me to go to guidebook? I think there's specific wording on here. Is that I cannot see? So tiny. And what is this? Number 6. Number 6, the full innocent. Creative enthusiasm. Okay, let me see this one. 72. It's the magician, will and action, mastery of destiny. Okay, so I kind of get the idea. Innocent, but creative enthusiasm. I feel like enthusiastic about life. Perhaps something new. Perhaps something interesting. Perhaps something really catch your attention. That gets you to be enthusiastic. So you want to create from that to see where it is going with you or with other people as well, right? And that whatever activity that might be that drive you, that enthusiastic feelings, that interest, whatever that is. So the next one is about will and actions. Because of this, and it driving you to do things. But I feel like a lot of emotions are filling it up in those whatever activities in this cup. Why is she so enthusiastic? Trapped in some sort of addictions. This is a addictive behaviors. What is she running away from? Yeah, Happy Body is running away from herself. What is she actually running away from? Am I allowed to dive deeper into this reading, or this is the end of it? It's not enough card for me to go on here. It's not allow me to talk about it. I'm not allowed to channel without the card pulling up. So it's just these emotions, a lot of complexity. You're creating a lot of emotions for your own self and all mixing it with enthusiasm. But at the same time, you're not aware of those underlying emotions that filling this cup right here. Yeah, it's so much, right? It's so bright, right? Everywhere. It's so dark. But you allow this thing to drive you to do what you do, and it's quite superficial. It's, like I said, it's a type of addictive behavior you're encouraging yourself into. Is there any more to say about this? I'm glad to end it here for you. So may you find life from your spiritual guardian. The spiritual message reading for Shanaya. Guide to use the spirit and shadow here. And this is a card, vigilance. It's a warning card. Is there anything else about this? About conflict? Putting yourself in certain conflict because you choose to be in the conflict. And that's going to put yourself in I don't like to use the term danger. It's a warning from the above, from divine, to tell you you cannot continue to using that kind of negative expressions toward whatever life event that you're encountering or whoever particular individual. I do not know, because this card is too limited for me to tell you the specific. So without further deeper readings, but it is a warning to you. You cannot continue to use such a negative attitude toward life and to create further conflict with whoever or whatever situation. And this is the end of your reading. May you find light from the spiritual guardian. This is a really dark and light deck here. Goetia, Darkness in Tarot, Latoria. This is the I want to say Tarot in Light, okay? Very Pacific message here. Let me think about what I just did for you. We talk about the Fool card, where you are so enthusiastic and you think it's by nature, but your spirit guide, it likes you to call it spirit guide, okay? Your spirit guide is saying, no, that is not true. You've been avoiding it. You've been encouraging it. All those negative emotion, and hide it behind what? Hide it with your enthusiasm. That's why you've been filling your cup with all those negative emotions to what? To spark your enthusiasm. So be mindful of that, okay, Jeanette? That is the theme here. And then let me move on to this new card here. This is the High Priestess. Let me go to 71 here and see what it says. Number 71. Spiritual mystery, skillful learning. Venus, okay? There's a planet side Venus. Venus is about the love planet here. Still not understanding the spiritual side about you, Janae. You've been learning stuff with skill to apply in your day-to-day life, but that is the physical life form. But to understand your soul and heart, they are totally missing. Yeah, you grasp your understanding, like such as enthusiasm, such as being nice, such as being humorous. I mean, in that regard, but that is just scratching the surface about emotions. but you're not getting the deeper side of you. What drives you to motivate you to express such an emotion on the surface? There's a lot of layer of complexity in this, but let me dive deeper into the card. Too many faces here. Do you see a lot of faces in this? High Priestess? Too many faces. Like each of the face is expressing a very specific situation that you attach to, that create some underlying feelings, cause you to have certain judgment. And I'm seeing all these cups building everywhere, like unattended. Like, just drop it right there. I feel like it. I'm done with this emotion. Let me lay it down on the ground. You see all this water and cups? It signifies each type of emotion that you're having. Like, but they're not being like cared for. Just leave it on the ground. Like, if you have a house, you're living in your environment, you just toss your clothing everywhere. After you eating, you don't even bother to clean the dishes, in other words, from a physical perspective. But this is about your emotional perspective, and that's the same way you're doing it with your emotion, with the physical environment as well. Do you see how the physical behavior can align to your inner world, the way how you discard your own emotions? Like, after I finish this emotion, put it aside like this, toss it on the ground. Who care? I don't need to cleanse it. Wait, when I get to will it again, whatever situation triggering you to do it again, just pick it up, even though it's so filthy already on the ground. Who knows what's crawling in there? And you will use it like nothing, like it really happened. And that's what create all those different type of faces. Yeah, it is just quite dark, okay? Be aware of that. You need emotional care. You need to dive deeper into your inner world to understand what are each one of them, how they are interconnected. The interconnecting piece is missing here. And talk about you, not the one that you are capable of analyze about people, right? This is not about people that you're interacting with. It's a way you interact people with your own emotion and not realizing what they are. That is a true problem, okay? That you are not able to dissect. You cannot do it with your mind. You cannot do it through the outside, whatever that triggering you. You gotta do it from the inside. Use your sixth sense to do it, not for your physical sensation. Stop hearing what people are telling you. Stop sensing those color. Whatever cause you to be enthusiastic. Whatever colorful event that happening. You need to pause, freeze, and dive within with your sixth sense and sense what's going on with your inner world, why it is so turbulent, why it is so chaotic, why do you are so fragmented, like each of the emotions are so isolated on its own, like there's no connections. Let me move on to this. Oops. Just knocking off my cell phone stand. Let me see. This is the full card, number 6. Storing informations, storing too much information, cluttering your inner world, cluttering your mind, causing you to judge, causing you to react. Those clutters are not good for your psyche. They're causing you to fragment a lot of things. You're trying to guard those type of knowledge that are garbage to you. Whiskey? Boy? Like you're whisking something. Well, she's protecting her own void. She doesn't want to dive deeper to understand her darkness, her dark side. That's your spirit guide is telling me this. You're not willing to risk to crack open your heart and soul to see the void inside that you're having. Too arrogant as well to learn something that you don't know. That is another attitude problems. Impulse is driving you to do that as well. That's why you're stagnant. You're unable to move forward to healing. You're not able to move forward to releasing your dark side. She's trying to balance life because her false belief too strong by those human creation in this 3D matrix. That's why you're stuck, Janet. That's why your guardian said, your spirit guide said, arrogant attitude. Let me move on to the last card here. Whether you agree or don't agree, it won't matter, Janet, but I'm just here because you pay for it. I'm just have to finish, okay? That's what I get from your spiritual guardian. You don't have to you don't have to agree with your spiritual guardian. I'm just reading exactly what I'm getting, right, from the spiritual guardians, okay? Let me go on to this last card here, the High Priestess. Confrontation. Defensive. Being defensive when something is confronting you about your dark side. You're guarding your soul. You're not willing to dive deeper to your own void, to do something about them. Yeah, it's just another arrogant word in here again about that behaviors. It's like an affirmation here. Your perception is narrowed to what you already know, but anything that you don't know, you don't want to know. And that is the culprit of it all. Unable to move forward. Are those dark side of your feelings that trap you where you are today? Is there any more about this High Priestess card? If you're not willing to let go what you have already cluttered in your inner world, in your sacred space, you're going to continue with the same cycle with the same outcomes. That's what I'm getting from your spirit guide. Janet, is there any more that she needs to know about? The difference between dark and light? It's about discerning. If you cannot discern the difference between dark and light and you think that you should balance it, that is a false belief. No darkness is permanent. There is no such thing cleansing the energy. And we clean the energy whenever you feel negative about something. Your spirit guide is trying to say that healing is about total releasing that particular negativity, so that way you don't have to continue practicing that particular negativity again. If you continue to practice the same negativity over and over again, that means you're not doing the necessary inner work. You are doing what? Shadow work. There's a huge difference between shadow work versus inner work. Balancing energy is not going to help you. You're going to get stuck in this downward path over and over. So that's all it is trying to tell you, because you're holding on to this belief. You're holding on to whatever that is that you think you know. So therefore you continue to practice whatever you think you know. That's why you're rejecting this reading, Janet. Even though your spirit guide is trying to tell you the truth about the law of attraction, the true nature of what is universal love frequency. Is there any more you tell her? So it is up to you which path that you want to take in this lifetime. Yeah, you can exercise your free will. No one is forcing you on anything, but be aware, the consequences of life cycle, it's going to keep repeating itself. I'm going to end it here for you. May you find life from the spirit guide. Past life reading for Jessica. I'm going to use the, this is called the Inner Light Tarot here. Let me see, the Empress. Birth, being a mother. Why do I feel like you was a mother in this past life here? Yeah, nourishing, kind of nourishing. How many children? 2 in this past lifetime. So that's what I'm sensing here. Like, how many past lives do you want me to incorporate? 2? I might be doing 2 past life for you at the same time, okay? For a reason, but let's keep that in mind. But this particular past life, am I allowed to say where? Continent? Timeline? 1700 to 1800, around there, okay? About this particular past life. And yeah, you have 2 kids. Kind of wanted to be a mother, but life get too stressful because of money issues, perhaps. Why? Because of husband died early. So you kind of have to take over, perhaps. For how long? Until something happened, right? To get better in this life journey. That's what I'm sensing. But there's a moment of hardship ever since the husband died early, left you with 2 kids. But there's some community support through family, for your own family. Others, I don't know, its parent still alive at the time when her husband passed away. Yes. So, but you still have to meet your end meet. But at the same time, you're going through this heart wound so heavy, like so shocking, right? Suddenly you lose the one of your love. And it's so hard. And then you have 2 kids that are kind of young too at the time. Yeah, that's what I'm confirming here. So goddess of sword, at least you have family to support you right there, okay? But it's not like you have to be homeless. So yeah, money from a physical perspective, sure, money issue. Then emotional side, you're having heart pain to deal with, and then at the same time, you have to take care of kids as well. And I don't know how much your parents may be helping you at that time. Little, that's what I'm getting here. So you still have to take care of a lot, right? Because they have their own farm to take care of. That's why. So it's on a farm. I don't know how big the land might be, but there's a farm. They have to farm in order to get certain resources as well for their own living. So be aware of that too. So they just could supply you whatever their ability, right, at the time. So let me move on to the goddess of sword. This here, the owls, it signify wisdom. This white dress, this card like to dress in white majority of the time. It's about purity, white color, like not to be tainted by all this negativity or the dark force, right? But in this case, I feel like this lifetime you have to learn to you have to learn how to purify yourself. Yeah, you go through all these unpleasant life events that cause you to attach to negative emotion. But at the same time, this journey is also beautiful to gain some type of wisdom to purify all those negativity, right? From this world of life event that are so unpleasant. So you can find your own light, find your own happiness again. And I feel like your children's are serving your catalyst in a way because a mother love was everything. I feel like yeah, you did love your children, but at the same time you have to sacrifice your time for the sake of getting the necessary resources to raise the kid and including your own self as well. So be aware of that. So yeah, you kind of being a mother in a way, kind of not because of time, the sacrifice that you have to make from the beginning. What I'm picking up here, that would make sense, right? But yeah, your children serving your catalyst in a way to help you to see, hey mom, blah blah blah, right? I don't know what happening, but perhaps certain demand, certain feeling perhaps, like because of your absence, and they have to take care of themselves, like going through learning, perhaps through farming with the grandparents as well. So perhaps there's a moment of disconnection with you regarding the relationship. That's what I'm getting here. Maybe because you weren't there when they needed you. That's what I'm getting. So it kind of tainted the feelings, right? Regarding family loves in that regard. So I feel like you have to learn that how to navigate this, how to juggle, right? Like a crown juggling with two balls at the same time. Like which one should I take priority? When should I take priority? I feel like once upon a time, a child is having fever and you were at work, and I feel like there's a shame and there's a guilt and there's a regret as well that you wouldn't be able to be there when the child was sick. So if you're feeling this feeling in this lifetime with that kind of intensity, Jessica, it's trying to tell you you haven't healed from this lifetime, and this karma carry forward with you in this lifetime. Be aware of that. It's time for you to work on it. You don't have to keep attaching to that kind of feeling, that guilty feeling, that being a shameful mother in that way, but unable to be there for this sick child. I hope you understand, okay? It's okay, you understand it now, but it's time for you to release that kind of shameful feeling, or of a regret, or of a guilt that kind of get to you, right? It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to forgive yourself. Remember that. Open your heart to pure form of compassion. I think that's very important, right? Forgiving yourself with compassion. And that's how you're going to learn to love yourself again in this lifetime. Yeah, so this is like a karmic relationship with your child in this lifetime because it's happening in your past life as well. And that's why it's keep happening over and over until you learn to heal this. Once you heal that, then you release this karmic energy. So that way you don't have to carry forward in your next lifetime if you have a chance to reincarnate again, okay? And that's an important message here. Let me move on to this Queen of Swords here. And I'm seeing this lady doing an upside down pose, quite balanced, right, in a curve. And see that it's just using two arms to be on this what do you call that, the pedestal thing to balance herself. I'm seeing this radiant light behind her, behind the cloud. It's like I can balance myself. I in my own zen. I'm in peace. I'm in harmony. I'm birthing something new. That's what I'm getting here. But I feel like it's quite the opposite in this past life here. I think you want to have a work-life balance, but I think it didn't happen from the beginning because of the immediate need that you have to be the breadwinner for your family. It's hard for you. Maybe before your husband passed away, maybe life was so good. Maybe you were in your own calm exterior and everything because you don't have to worry about because your husband take care a lot of those like the resources side of physical living. But you never really came to you that you have to take over so much at that past life. So it kind of rock your harmony and cause you to tilt here and there, to lose your balance, to lose your zen. So I hope you see how life situation can cause you to react like this. But this card is also signifying here, can you be like this forever no matter what kind of life situation have in store for you? Can you practice this harmony within you? Can you release your reaction toward life? Can you allow yourself to open up to embrace all kind of life events and not judge them whether they're good or bad? You know, heavy journey, heavy light events are beautiful in this lifetime, including your past life. Why? Because you get to tap into your wisdom. You get to understand that you can actually purify all your negativity into this love and become this goddess. That deeper knowledge of how to be your own alchemist, to transform all those negative energy into positive energy, full love, full compassion, full forgiveness. And that is a beautiful journey to have. Is asking you to do the same thing in this current lifetime, to be in this harmony. And you can do that, Jessica. Just believe that you can alchemize your own energy. Let me go to the Warrior of Sword here. This is another balancing pose. I feel like she's happy. She's in her harmony. And I feel like she's also doing core strengthening from the inside out. This and it is in the nature as well. She's utilizing the nature, not the artificial things to help her in this regard. That's what I'm getting here. Is this more about the past life story here, or is this the end of the story for her? End of it? Okay, I think that's just the storyline, the first three cards here, but the rest of them, I think there's some special spiritual messages for you, okay? It is talk about you need to take advantage of the nature that the earth has in store for you. Nature is abundance. I'm not talking about the human stuff that have created in the society, electronic stuff, not the advancement of healthcare. If you take care of your health in through the natural way, why do you even need healthcare? Basically, you don't, right? So you see the point that I'm trying to say, that you don't really need the human creation to help you to do this. All you need to do to take advantage of the true nature that is so abundant on this earth, to help yourself to maintain this strengthening, the inner strength. It's not just about taking care of your body, eating healthy, eating whole food. Don't take any like substance. People are into substance and abuse them, like alcohol, could be one of them, right? Excessive eating of unhealthy fat, like saturated fat, and that's why people get sick. That's why people get inflammation as well. What causes the good cell turn to cancer cell? Inflammation as well. Be mindful of that, okay? So it is up to you to learn what is good for you and what is not good for you. And remember, stuff that the human created, and sometimes they are just cause you to addict to that particular activity. Can you strengthen your inner self and not rely on anything on the external side to make yourself feel good? And just be like this lady, just stand outside in the nature and balancing her inner self like this. And she is happy. She is so satisfied in life. She is not complaining about anything. She is embracing her inner strength. Also, remember the card of the inner wisdom. You can alchemize your energy into the positive one. And this is the Three of Swords card. It is gloomy. All the sword she's holding on to is like an attachment, each one of them, causing the heart pain. And it's so stormy in the background. It's like she's self-manifesting the storm for herself. Never stop raining. Where's the sun that's going to come out? Where's the moon's going to shine up on her to help her to reflect why you're still attaching all this unpleasantness? All this unpleasantness is what you created. All this negative feeling, right? In the past life, why did you feel the way you feel in this lifetime? Through past life experiences, all this karma that have not been healed. But this card is so significant, asking you to use your wisdom, dive it into yourself and pull out each of the attachment to heal yourself, to let go. Healing is releasing, at the same time letting go, no longer hold those life events so close to your heart. Once you let go all those negativity, that's where you bloom your unconditional love. That's where you're going to see the sun shining on you, right? If you allow the moon to shine on you to help you do self-reflection on all those past events, including this past life events as well. Anything else about this card? So stop holding on so tightly on this, okay? Do not be so stubborn about those attachments. Four of Swords. I'm seeing this lady resting on the, this is water. One of Swords is resting on the water. This is like a mirroring reflection. And this is a moon card that I was like, I already jumped ahead and channeling this about self-reflection here. This is about, you need to freeze wherever activity, wherever your mind is trying to make you think so much about something, is asking you, can you be silent each day to give you room to feel your sacred space, how your sacred space is actually filled with all those attachments that you need to release, okay? Those three swords, they still like a signify attachment, right? But this sword is laying down because you no longer need to have it with you. You can lay it down, and I'm not saying bury it, You can dissipate it. You can still remember the meaning behind all those life events, but however, you're not creating your own negative feeling toward those life events to continue to hurt yourself, turn them into beautiful moments. There gotta be something beautiful about the darkness, right? In those situations, like you said, you couldn't be with your daughter in this lifetime. She was sick. She was at the university. Do you need to be so like perfect mother? No one is perfect. Perhaps that moment was for her to learn how to grow up, to be independent, to learn how to care for her own sickness as well, because you cannot be a caring mother forever. But yeah, because of distant issue, but you can learn to forgive yourself, not to be so hold on so tightly like this, to continue to hurt yourself in a negative way. So I'm just giving you a good example, right? How you can turn that negative feeling, negative mindset into a positive one. If you don't allow your daughter to experience life within her own self, how will she learn to grow, right? So I hope you see the point here, because you cannot fix someone, but you can only fix your own self, or stop by looking into your heart and soul. Page of Sword here. Let me see. She's doing an upside down pose. And the energy flow is like a new idea floating with the universe energy. When you understand how the universal love frequency work with the pure form of love that you will learn to practice, then you will sync with this universe energy that is called realign your soul to your higher self, Jessica. And that's what it means. You're no longer struggling. You're no longer against this universe, what this nature has to offer you. And that's how you sync with it. And it's like a very beautiful energy. Is nothing heavy, is nothing sad about it. It is called like a soul fulfillment. You suddenly got enlightened about this outcard, right, that I mentioned about the higher wisdom. And you will know when you get there. It takes time, it takes a little effort. Don't give up. Doesn't matter how many years that for you to understand something, right? There's always a higher purpose. A cycle doesn't happen like in a day. Sometimes it might take a decade for you to understand that huge life cycle, to get back to from the beginning, to help you to see from a different perspective. Maybe you're stuck with a different perspective 10 years ago, but 10 years later, when you go back and look at the same situation again, you don't feel the same way. You don't think the same way anymore, because within that 10 years, something happened to you that caused you to do some sort of transformation to help you to see there a beautiful side in everything. So this is where this new idea is coming from. It's trying to tell you that, yeah, be patient. Don't be so hard on yourself. Nothing needs to be perfect. Mistake is also beautiful. The Nine of Swords. Seeing a lot of headache, heavy burdens. I don't know what this attachment in this dark cloud is clouding your mind, causing you not to have clarity, not able to discern the difference between dark and light, not able to connect all of those emotions back to particular life events. But I hope this past life here help you understand something, why it is so deep, why it needs to reoccur in this lifetime for you to understand something about you. It is all about you. You should focus on yourself. The more you are able to heal your dark side, the better that you're emitting this beautiful, loving energy. And guess what? It's good for your family. It's good for the people that you're socializing as well. People can sense that you're different. You have changed, you're transformed in a beautiful way because you're emitting true form of love. And you don't need to do anything for anybody. Just being in this love, it's good enough because your love is so contagious. Like the dark side in people's are so contagious as well. So it's just a matter of which side do you want. Do you want the humanity to be in the light side, or do you want the humanity to be in the dark side? This world is so dark right now. That's why people are hurting. People are dying for that particular reasons. It is all about discerning the difference between dark and light. Do not see anything good and bad or good and evil. If you continue to define that, and that's what it caused you to be in this like that, in this lady, headaches. And this is a 10 of sword. Yeah, I've seen all the sword attachments. Sword attaching to a body is never a good thing, including this cowardliness, right? But at the same time, if you stop struggling, if you learn to surrender, I can feel that you will no longer allow those attachments to influence you in a negative way. That's what I'm getting. I feel like eventually you will get there, Jessica. It takes a little effort every day to do that. Just you need to go within and to increase your inner awareness to understand this. And this is the egg of sword, the lady being blindfolded, surrounding the sword. This is like, do you see how she twisted her arm, unable to free her own arm to untie this blind here? She blindfolded herself, like so firmly, even her leg got twisted, couldn't walk away from any of those attachments, like she's stuck in her own cage. This card is trying to tell you you're the only one who can liberate yourself in all of this. Nobody can do it for you. It doesn't matter how many similar life situations are reoccurring in your lifetime to trigger the same, judgment you're having toward those situations. Do you hear the word judgment here? Because you're using your past experiences to judge. If you can let go that judgment, if you can bring out the true beauty of everything, and that is the higher purpose your spirit guide is trying to tell you. Everything has a higher purpose. Stop willing with the judgment. Stop being negative. Catch yourself if you're being negative, and you should say, oh, how can you turn this negative statement into a positive statement to help yourself to release? You don't need to use judgment anymore. So remember, the more you do reflect on that, the more you dive deeper, the more you will have more insight and inner wisdom. Five of Swords. I'm seeing her putting one of her sword to get stuck in her throat, unable to speak the truth of the matter. Why is she hesitating? Why are you hesitating? Too hard on yourself. Shame is one of them. Perhaps regret, guilt still causing you unable to speak the truth. Speaking the truth is not necessarily telling the truth about you towards somebody, but telling the truth to your own self is also very important. You don't want to get stuck like that and not able to tell the truth about something, right? This is the time for you to let that go. You need to bring out your inner strength, your inner courage to do that. And you don't need to allow your external life to influence you to say, oh, you're not good enough. Perhaps the society has some norm to be a parent, like there's some expectation, and that is so stressful and so hard. Like the society expecting you to to discipline your child in some way, to be a guidance in some way, to be a authoritative figure in some way. Do you see all this conditioning that I'm put that in the statement? These are all conditioning life. That is coming fear. That the society likes to encourage fear in people to trap you in conditioning life. And then your child and getting from you or whoever because they are young, the Gen Z generation so young. Why are they having so much emotional problem? Because they're getting so much from the adults, all this conditioning, all this expectation, and they're like, hey, mom, dad, I'm suffocating here. When are you guys going to listen to me? When are you guys going to care about what I truly want in my life? Why life have to be so conditioning? I want about this society, about what you guys want me to be or do, at a certain time in your own way, in your own standard. you know so I hope you hear this message about how much conditioning to what people love. Even though you truly love your family, but then your child won't understand that with all this conditioning. They don't feel like it is love. They just feel like, oh, I'm just trying to do whatever you want me to do. That ain't no love. I hope you understand, like, love needs to be going both way, right? Sure, we all need to learn to take care of our own self-responsibility. It's a matter of what kind of language you use. You try to use the unconditional love language instead of using the fear language to incite conditioning. So I hope you see about this fourth chakra speaking the truth of the matter of what's going on as well. And this is the last card for you, the Seven of Swords here. Something is going on, conflict. It's a matter of letting go those conflict in life. It could be within your own self. It could be with people as well. Perhaps disagreement, perhaps the normalization, perhaps the different standard, or perhaps even the pressure. Like have to give in, like have to compromise in order to make peace about something. That's what I'm getting here. But this isn't about giving in. It's also about drawing healthy boundary. You have to understand who you are, Jessica. What is authentic to you first. If you don't know what that is, you need to let go all those attachments in order to find your own true self. What is this that Jessica truly want that is coming from unconditional love, and that's not from conditioning, right? Once you do that, then you can redefine what are those healthy boundaries that you need. That needs to come from love, not come from fear, not come from protection, not come from worry. If you start using negative emotion to draw boundary, those are called the unhealthy boundary kind, that they encourage the negative emotion with you to rob your soul fulfillment, to rob your lasting happiness. That's why your negative emotion never really goes away. And remember, you can alchemize those type of energy by choosing what you want to practice, what it is that you need to let go. So it is not about needing to argue with people. It's not about needing to fight with people. It is not about needing to prove your point to other people. When it comes to your own well-being, it is all about you. You only know about who you are, where you are, what you need to work on. Someone else's opinions about you, it really won't matter, because everybody have their own opinions. They probably don't even realize they have that dark side in them, that they're encouraging that in other people's as well, encouraging you to see if you're going to let go or you're going to suck right back into it. Okay, so there will be a moment where you will be in between two worlds as well. conflicting, the difference between dark and light. Do you want to go back to what everybody else doing? Or no, I'm Jessica. I know this is a light path that I need to take, and I am unique, the only one in this universe that is what I am, who I am, and I don't need to follow what everybody else is doing, okay? So I hope you hear this message about your uniqueness. And this is the end of your readings. And I feel like two of your past life are going through the similar situations about regret, shame, not being good enough, causing you to have low self-esteem as well, questioning, having doubt, and whether you're good enough, like causing you to need it to be perfect in some way because of the image that you're stuck at, like you need someone to see you in this image. So remember, that image is a culprit, right? You don't need that kind of external image. All you need is to let love guide you, okay, throughout this lifetime. Anything else for Jessica here? I'm glad to end it here, and I hope you find this helpful for your inner work. And may you find light from your spirit guide. Spiritual message for Marie. I'm going to use the Sacred Light Oracle here, and this is the Archangel Michael. Let me go to a guide book. This is card number 3 here. See if there any special elaboration here. Faith in the spiritual or faith in religion, however you are willing about the spiritual things in this lifetime. Something about the faith is not the truth that you should continue to believe or practice in them. I don't know how many, I'm just saying them. Because you're using fear to have this type of faith, because you're using protection to have this type of faith. So that is not the truth faith that is coming from the pure form of love. So I feel like your guardian wants you to dive deeper into your motivations behind this spiritual faith that you're having, and what can you do to let go those negativity and turn that into light that is come from the pure form of love without tainted by any negative emotions. Is there any more? Worry. I'm getting worry as well. When you worry, so yeah, worry is a form of negative energy. Are you aware of that? It's not coming from the pure form of love as well. Anything else? You need to listen to your higher self. Perhaps you're listening to the wrong kind of voice. Maybe you do tap into your inner world, but that inner voice is coming from lower dimension, not coming from divine, the true divine. You have to learn to let go your negativities. It's not just practicing it, but you at the same time when you're being triggered by your negative emotions, that means you haven't released your negative feelings yet. So you cannot just substitute. You need to release and then put in that unconditional love in your sacred space, so that way it slowly and slowly go bigger and bigger to fill your sacred space with love only, with that kind of love. But then the fear, you cannot just suppress it, you cannot just divert it, and you cannot substitute with love until you learn how to release that fear. So I hope that makes sense. And I'll guide you in here, Marie. May you find life from your spiritual guardian. There's a message for Lawrence. God to use the twin flame ascension. Take me home, Oracle deck here. you have this remember your identity, you can do it. Interesting. But let me pull out the guidebook just to be sure I'm not leaving out anything here. This is number 257. It is about your inner self. The first thing, it is your quest to fulfill your inner self through exploration in this lifetime. This is not really a goal, Lauren. It's not like a finish line. It's not like there's a step by step for you to do that. It's not like go to school, get educated about something, then you can apply. It's not like that either, okay? So you cannot call this a goal. So therefore, this is like a exploration without anything, with nothingness. So I hope this makes sense, okay? That's the only way to explore, right? If you're not willing to give it your 100%, how do you explore? If you're scared, let me try this out. If I don't like it, I'm gonna quit. There's no such thing quitting when you start exploring in this lifetime. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? So it's not like there's a step by step. It's not something you can just learn through educating yourself, like education, no such thing, okay? So yeah, you have to stop using your mindset. You have to stop using your attitude. You have to stop using your judgment. You have to stop using your reactions, wherever that is blocking you from exploration to dive into your inner self, to understand what is your quest for soul fulfillment. No, that's not it, Lawrence. But feel free to re-listen to this again because I'm uploaded to Pinterest using today's date, August 20th. If you want to go to my public service, but I think you wait until you're calm, not to use judgment, not to use past experience, not using your whatever you learn in this society to listen to this reading. It will help you in the future. But right now you're stuck in the normalization of human life. That's why you're stuck in thinking this way, the way I'm saying it. But that's not what your spiritual guardian meant, okay? Being human, it's always been about love as well. That is, yeah, that is the truth about what you need to explore about love. Love, where you learn it. You learn it since the day you were born through family, right? Through watching people, how they express love. This is all coming from where human socializations about love. But what about the love from the universe? What about the other form of love that is not coming from this human physical socializations? What about the really true form of love, universal love frequency? That is not something you can get it from human. It's not something that you can get it from reading from book. Like I said from the beginning, you cannot educate yourself about this love. You can't just watch a movie and understand about love. This type of love, it's coming from your soul level. It's coming from your inside, the inner self. That's from the beginning. That's what I'm trying to say here. You need to explore yourself in this lifetime without anything, with nothingness. Do you understand? No, nothingness. Because you've been attaching a lot of stuff through normalization. Humans, like, yeah, it's so normal, right? There's like a system, a framework in the society, in the community that you live in. It's everywhere. It's entire world unless you decide, oh, I don't want to be in this human society anymore. Let me go out into the wild and find my own little spot and be 100% self-sufficient, like growing your own food, building your own little shelter out there to survive out in the wild. I'm not saying there isn't places like that, maybe in Russia, like where it's extremely cold, like negative 70 what Fahrenheit, how cold that is. Nobody can live there, nothing growing there. If you want to go to places like that to explore your inner soul, I mean, without any of those societal framework whatever that is telling you, oh, you need to follow this regulation, you need to follow this rule. That's how it is, because that's the only way to live among that huge population, right, in your community. Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to take you out of this now thing that you're thinking about. I'm giving you a much bigger picture, what's going on around this world at a much broader sense. So I hope you understand why your guardian wants you to understand what this exploration with nothingness mean. And that's is the only way to go into your inner self. If you like tiny little fraction of something to influence you, that is not self-exploration. That is already tended by that kind of influence, and you're gonna turn around and judge it. So what's the point of exploring when you're gonna choose the type of expectation, choose the type of outcome of what that's supposed to be? That is not truly exploration. You see the point your guardian is trying to say, because the way you process things, that trigger you not to explore yourself. Is there anything else about this identity remembering? Is there Pacific chaos? Chaos around the world? You are being impacted by the chaos around the world that's happening. Are you aware your inner emotion, your emotional reaction toward those chaos around the world is asking you to dive deeper to feel that, Lawrence? Yeah, you have some sort of sympathy toward the humankind and not understanding that why. What kind of love is that when you have sympathy toward humans? Is that the only time you will have sympathy toward humans? I think there's more. I feel like you do have sympathy from other situations, not just the world chaos that's going on around here. I'm not just talking about fire, not just flooding, not just the war, right? But a lot of things going on, like earthquake, right? I mean, those are like world chaos, but also people are suffering through abuse, killing by their own society, a lot of crime way, like gun out of control or something like that, disease going on. People, if you live in the USA, there's like a outbreak in farming. Particular vegetable have containing some sort of disease that they need to recall. See, that's another chaos going on, right? Yeah, you have those type of sympathy, but you also have sympathy toward particular situation as well. But you're not truly have that kind of white compassion. You're only being triggered by isolated compassion. I hope you understand. So that is how you are being tended with something in you that you have hard time exploring your inner self, because your compassion is isolated to particular group of something. It's not like you actually truly believe in loving everything on this earth, whether they're good, bad, or evils. I hope you understand that. What is your guardian is trying to say? Is there anything else? Triggers. You need to learn to embrace your emotional trigger in order to improve your higher wisdom. This lifetime is about discerning the difference between dark and light. And yeah, people have hard time understanding the difference between dark and light because they keep defining the difference between good, bad, or evils. Oh, if you harming another person, then you're a bad person. If you're a serial killer, then you're an evil person. Well, what about the darkness in everyone's? What about the darkness that people don't want to take their own responsibility for and to incite that kind of darkness in other people as well? Do you understand how contagious darkness can be around this world to intensify everything tenfold, even thousandfold? That's why this world is in so much chaos right now. Yeah, it is asking you to dive deeper, to explore yourself with nothingness. Yeah, it spread like it's worse than a pandemic disease, okay? I'm just telling you, and people don't understand that. We can only take our own responsibility, understand our own darkness, release it, heal it, so we can truly practice the universal love frequency to love everything, regardless of what kind of dark path they have been through, If we don't give people opportunity to do the same, like you're having spiritual awakening to do the same thing, to heal our own self, then what's going to become of the future of the human race? Nothing but pure darkness. So, is there any more for Lawrence? I'm glad to end it here, Lawrence. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Reading for Clay. I'm gonna use the Monology Messages Oracle here. Got 3 cards: Yin, Moon, accept help. Let me see, got a guide, but just in case there's a particular message for you here. Yin Moon 120. Your ego might get in your way. What is serving your greatest good? Seems like someone wants to help you in this regard, but you're too blinded by whether this person is offering you or the way he or she is offering you that you have hard time accepting it. You might judge it somehow with your negativities. Anything else about this particular card? And let me move on to the cold moon. Face your fear. 28. Fear is stopping you from understanding that is so important about yourself. Fear is only scratching the surface of a lot of things. Fear can also have quite a bit of underlying interconnected negative emotion as well. For example, like worry can cause by your own fear for you to worry about something, someone, or even yourself, right? You worry about yourself, whatever that is your situation might be. So, yeah, emotion is quite complex. It's a mixture of something that create complicated feeling, complicated energy. Feeling and energy are interrelated, and that's what your emotions have been emitting. Energies, either a low energy kind, or a feel good energy kind, or a more elevated, called positive kind, right? Have you been discerning them? Only you can tell. So there's some underlying lesson behind all of that too, because you have body, mind, heart, and soul. How well are you integrating all aspects of your life to understand about the lesson that you need to learn and grow through that, through that feeling, through that energy, for that whatever desire that you're having that are not serving your greatest good. Remember, somebody is trying to offer something, but you just don't think that's the right approach, or whatever that is hard for you to accept. So let me go on to this last card, Moon Magic Transformation here. Is there any more to talk about? Face your fears? So yeah, a word of advice is you gotta do self reflections. Don't just live your life every day through interaction and that's it. You gotta dive beyond the surface level and see what's going on inside your little world. Only you can tell, Clay. Moon Magic 76. This one, someone else. So not this one, else. I don't know what that means. I need more context. What is this about transformation? You have been transforming. That's what I'm getting here, but not necessarily in a good way because your desires is motivating the transformations. It feels like you haven't understand your desire. Where are they coming from? Are they actually good for you? If you know they're not good for you, it's time for you to pause, not to continue achieving those desires. Hmm. This is about your higher self that you have forgotten about. It is the higher self that you haven't connected to. This is a soul. Without your soul, you have no consciousness. Why are you not diving deeper into your soul to ask it, how are you feeling? Anything else about this card that you need to understand? What is it? Current partner? That's totally different reading. It's hard for me to do any other readings. What is it that you want me to channel about partnership? Zero, nothing? Okay, so I'm not seeing any more in this card without different type of like a detailed reading. There's no way for me to dive into any of that. But this is the end of your general reading, and I hope this helped you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. General reading for Tora. I'm going to use the Ocean of Wisdom Oracle here for you. First one is Anchor. Something unstable in your life. And this is also causing by your emotional instability as well. That is reflecting on your outside life events. Why do I feel headaches from you? Perhaps the confusion, perhaps the headaches as well, whatever life situations that you are in, that causing a little bit of that here and there. Like the tides is too much, like the tide are too strong for you, and you can anchor yourself when it hits you so hard. Like it triggers quite a bit of chaotic energy, chaotic emotions, like coming out of you. That's what I'm getting here. And I feel like you need to allow this to erupt out of you. Otherwise, how would you know what kind of negativity that you keep holding on to from the inside? How would you know what is your trigger points, about certain situation, particular individual in your life? That's what I'm getting here. I feel like the strength that you're having is to protect yourself instead of helping you. So that's what I'm getting here. I'm not sure why it paused, but I'm still running here. But feel free to go to my Pinterest if there is like an in and out or something, just in case you miss anything that I said. But you can always replay it back using today's day on my Pinterest public service TikTok photos. But let me move on here. The ancient temples seek strength in your past situation, like the echoes of history guide you toward the future. Hmm. This card remind me of you need to do some inner reflection about those situation. Why do you have those reactions causing you to be unstable? I think that that is the clue to all of that about your stories in order to move forward with your future. Otherwise, you keep holding on to that and you can able to how will I say the wounds deep within you that you keep carrying with you to behave, to act, to say, make decision, to feel certain way, to cause more harm in your life than help you really enjoy the moment in the life that you're having. So yeah, they do weigh you down, but you're the only one can actually release them in a positive way, in a proper way, through healing, right? Through this emotional healings. And let me put it in more precise terminology here to help you. So emotional healings is necessary if you're not going to go deeper into that to see how others emotional turbulence are triggering and harming you, and that's where you're gonna get stuck, okay, unable to move forward to a brighter future. The sea urchin discover beauty in life, pickly moments, and trusty heavy experience holds a lesson. So this is what I'm just saying. This is like card that come from what I just telling you about emotional healing is necessary, and you have to change your mindset about how you approach your life. The word beauty, discover beauty in everything, life is beautiful, but you cannot just use your own preference, use your own judgment to say, oh, this is beautiful for me, that I want to leave it alone, I don't want to dive into it, I don't want to experience this anymore again, because I have certain preference, I have certain expectation, I have certain outcome. Do you hear what I'm saying here? You're defining what beauty is to you, but you're not embracing the beauty of life that exists on this earth, whether they have consciousness or no consciousness. So this is a culprit for you, what caused you unable to move forward with a brighter future, because you keep repeating all those things that you have experienced in the past that causing some sort of a negative feeling or something that you don't prefer, or causing all this judgment that you're having that unable to release them. So this is why you need to go back to your path to understand what it is that you still need to learn in order to release them. Is there any more for so I'm glad to end here. I hope this helped you and may you find life from your spiritual guardians, their